The fact that this is even a question is ridiculous in itself. Um, so yeah, beautiful women, are wondering why men don't approach them. Let's just get right into this, man.
Complaining that men are no longer approaching them. And I find this absolutely fascinating. So, when I was a young man, I only plucked up the courage to actually just walk up to a random woman on the street once because she was really attractive and say, "Hey, would you like to go out?" She turned me down, right? Every other time,
Which is gonna happen most of the time. Like at the end of the day, I don't suggest like any guys doing cold approaches. Like I'd wait for a signal, choosing signal, whatever. You can read the little subtle signs and the subtle fuckery, but even if you're an attractive guy, it's going to be a very low success rate in cold approaching. It's just a very low return on investment activity.
I've got girlfriends or women who have been interested in me. They've basically come to me and sort of signaled to me that they're interested. And so, frankly, I've never been the sort of walk up to a girl and just start chatting her up type. But that most of the time women will signal when they are interested in you. And you just, if you're interested back, you can pick it up and go from there. But I think that there is at least a certain kind of woman who enjoys the attention, right? Who likes to know that actually she is an attractive woman and she's flattered by men making the effort and, well, as this woman says, catcalling her. Let's listen.
Tell me why every day I go out looking adorable, tits bouncing, skin glistening, and yet nobody ever hits on me or approaches me. Ever. Oh my god, like please. I'll take a fucking construction worker catcall at this point.
So, now there are many people who are saying, well, and this is another video of the woman in the orange dress here. Again, very attractive women and men are just not approaching them. And they're becoming frustrated by it. And as Con here points out, many women, not all of them, spent the majority of the 2010s bitching about rape culture and misogyny and catcalling and Me Too. And now that
Yeah, quick little story time. Yeah, I got Me. I don't think it's like Me Too, but I was just saying like, "What's up, mommy?" to this chick in class. It's like around 2017 or 2018. Lo and behold, the university I was at, whatever department, like the sexual harassment department, they reached out to me. I had to do a course and all types of shit. And granted, I never even laid a finger on this chick. So sexual harassment is not, pretty much I catcalled. That's all. And I got hit with an SA charge. So it's some real shit, man. So like, I knew shit was even back then shit was fucked up, man. It's I guess it's always been fucked up. I guess this isn't anything new.
Mad that young men aren't comfortable approaching them. You create the problem. I don't think it's just young men, although I think the age thing is an interesting question. Because I mean, this woman looks like she's in her early 20s, and well, do men in their early 20s actually spend a lot of time dating anyway? It seems that a lot of Gen Z are quite shy, introverted, not great at approaching.
And I'm not gonna lie, I'm ashamed to be a part of this generation because I really do think it's one of the worst generations. I really think it's one of the worst generations that have ever existed, primarily because this is one of the worst times ever, at least when it comes to like dating and like, normal, functional, healthy kind of relationships and normal just kind of like gender norms and social structures of things, to say the least, as everyone says, like shit's cooked, and it's just actual fact. Let's continue.
One another, and I mean, not entirely their fault. Probably a lot due to social media and the internet and the fact that they've got phones, so they don't have to actually go up and personally involve themselves. And they seem to have been losing the customs on how to show someone that they're interested that isn't embarrassing or humiliating in some way, and that protects the dignity of both people involved. And I don't blame them. I mean, these are things that I think generally haven't been well passed down. You know, I remember my dad telling me, "You just got."
even if your parents kind of like taught you the game, bro, the game that they gonna teach you, bro, is outdated, bro. Like, I'm not saying like it was like super easy for like your parents and stuff, but the dynamics and the social fabric of things was much easier. That's why there's a lot more people in relationships and stuff. Like, just look at the statistics and stuff, man. Like, there wasn't dating apps, there wasn't social media, there wasn't, women having thousands of options and guys like literally having no options. Like, it was kind of more of an even playing field or whatnot. Yes, I do believe hypergamy existed as far as the sun existed, but it wasn't like this. So like, even if your parents did pass down or even taught you some game, it would have been outdated anyways. So there's no way they could really have helped you. There's no way they could foresee the times that we're currently in.
Just got to go and ask. And the worst you can say is no. I mean, that's not true. The worst you can do is laugh at you. But that hasn't happened to me. But I can.
Or, you actually get the number, you actually do link up, you smash, and she calls grape, or, I don't know, maybe put your ass on the T app. Because, you beat her at her own game, But, those are just things to consider. And I would say, all jokes aside, but the crazy part is that that's a real thing, man. It's a very, very delicate, nuanced thing we're dealing with and talking about. It's not so binary and black and white. So yeah, it's strange, man. I can see why a lot of guys are not really, trying to, approach chicks, talk to chicks, because I mean, most of the time it's a waste of time, and on top of that, it's just rare to come across solid females, man. Like, and that's just a fact.
Imagine that happens, and it's absolutely harrowing. But at the end of the day, as a man, it's tough, and you will get over it. It's not the end of the world. But the times that it does work, then when you think, okay, that woman actually seemed to quite like me, and I'm going to go up and ask her out, it's actually really gratifying, and you feel like you've accomplished something. I said I hadn't done once, but now I'm thinking about it. I have actually done it a few more times than that. It was only once that I walked past this woman, and I was just like, wow, she's really attractive. And I was single at the time and walked up to her. But other times where it's, like I had a date with a girl who sold internet. She was, one of the women on the street, people on the street who's trying to sell broadband, whatever, like 15, 20 years ago. I can't remember how long now. And I didn't want it, but I ended up getting it because she was really cute. And I asked her on a date, and she was like, yeah, okay, great. It didn't go anywhere, but it was no big deal. But I ended up with that broadband for a goddamn year. But the point is, when you do it and it goes quite well, then okay, great, But anyway, that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is there's definitely an atmosphere that was created by the feminism of the 2010s. And this, I think, genuinely has had effects.
All right, so it's bad when you see like 8 and 9s, like complaining about no one's hitting on them and shit, bro. Like, it's bad when it's like that, bro. I don't know if it's ever been like that, bro. Even guys who know they ain't got no damn chance, bro, will still, try to holler at a chick like that, of that caliber. When shit really got bad, you know what I'm saying? Like it, I mean, words can't really describe where things are at on a societal whole right now. It's just such a strange time. And the crazy part about it, everyone's pretty much aware to it, which makes it even stranger. So all you gotta do is go on YouTube, go on their phone, all types of shit. You know what I'm saying? So like it's about as burnt and cooked as my voice right now.
Me Too, the hysteria about catcalling and misogyny and rape culture and all that sort of stuff. You can say thanks to Anita Sarkeesian, who herself had probably been catcalled 1 or 2 times. She's not hideous. but who had to marry herself incidentally. And now these women are feeling the effects of it. That's definitely an issue. And there are lots of women all over the place. It's not just like the odd TikTok video. Like this one here. I'm wondering if guys still approach women they don't know but are attracted to, or this basically never happens anymore. I, as a woman, don't get approached while walking the street in the grocery store, etc. Men seem to like me at work and on dating apps, but the approach thing from strangers just doesn't happen.
And it's just kind of wild. Like, imagine a guy, like, being like, yo, like, why aren't chicks hitting me up? Why aren't chicks approaching me? Like, I'm a good looking, I'm an attractive guy, I got some money. Doesn't fucking matter, bro. End of the day, like, the burden of performance is always on men. Like, girls just have to show up and look pretty. Girls don't care about your struggle at all. And ultimately, they're just waiting at the finish line and just being entitled, and some looking pretty. Like, most aren't even really all that attractive if we're going to be real. Most are mid, and mid isn't really like attractive. Mid's just not ugly. You know what I'm saying? But those same not ugly girls that aren't really attractive, feel entitled and feel like the world owes them something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like you can't really make this shit up. And I could see why a lot of guys are just, absolutely tired and just don't even want to play this rigged, messed up game that I don't honestly see actually really being fixed. Like, I honestly only see it getting worse. We're going to be real. I mean, if you guys think it can get better and can reset, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are in the comments and how that could happen.
And what's really funny is they're looking, going through this and being like, maybe we need to have some sort of social signal, like dropping a handkerchief to see if the guy's interested. And there was someone in this thread, I was reading through it before I started recording this. They're like, yeah, but what if the guy doesn't pick it up? That'd be devastating. Absolutely devastating. I don't know. I can't find the thing, but it would, but at least it wouldn't be like obvious. At least you could play it off as if, I just dropped that. I didn't mean to drop it. I wasn't trying to signal. But anyway, so yeah, you've got like other videos of women who are just trying to think of ways to get guys to approach them, because again, like, I think for a lot of women, it's not necessarily that they are, actually they want loads of guys to be hitting on them. But what I think it is just for them to feel secure about themselves, and also gives them something interesting to say about the night. Like, it gives them a social status over other women. These two are...
What a sad existence where, like, you're pretty much depending. Like, you're not going out to the world and creating shit or making things happen. Like, you're just sitting back and waiting to be validated, to make yourself feel good and superior over. Like, what the that's a sad existence, man.
Talking about instantly, it gives them sort of like it's a story, right? That they can tell their friends and say, "Oh, yeah, this guy approached me. Oh my God, he was this, he was that, whatever." But also, it reassures them. Oh, right, no, I am still actually attractive. Because a couple of years ago, I remember doing a video about...
Well, I mean, if you guys all think you're 10s, then why would you guys think that? Why would you guys need that reassurance, right? Like, if you guys, all think you're the 10s that you believe to be, like, why would you need that reassurance? Since you believe you're a 10, right? Like, you really believe that to your core, right? That you're a 10, right? Then, like, I don't know, originally you feel like, why do you need that reassurance? You know what I'm saying? See, that's the thing I don't like about, a lot of these modern women, bro. They talk a big game, but they all capaholics world premiere. Like, real shit.
Women, when they get older and they start to feel invisible, and it's because, like, when you're a young and attractive woman, you at least know that men notice you, and I think that for a lot of attractive young women, they feel important. They feel, oh, right, no, I have a place in society, and these guys are looking at me, they're checking me out. Even if they're not approaching me, I'm on their radar, right? They understand that I am a thing that matters in the grand scheme of male-female relationships. And so in society itself, I am sort of put on the map. But what these women are really complaining about is, I think, that they feel that they aren't on the map anymore. Right? And this is the same thing that the older...
Which is pretty wild. Like a young woman, you're not on the map anymore. That's how you know it's pretty damn bad. Like, if you hit the wall when you're like 22 years old, really, what happened was that feminism, bro. Like, you know, those ugly ass girls that like do that believe in that feminism bullshit and that propaganda. They really dragged like attractive girls, and like they dragged every girl down pretty much making it so men don't even want to deal with y'all anymore. Like, and like I said time and time again, like a lot of women don't look out for the best interests of other women. They're very selfish, and they're willing to try. If they can't have it, they're gonna make sure nobody can have it. That's how these motherfuckers is moving, man. Vile, selfish, individuals, man.
Women were complaining about when women get to like their 40s and 50s, and men are no longer just checking them out. You know, they no longer catch men just having a sideward glance, you know, admiringly. Which, again, the feminists have done a superb job of stigmatizing this. But actually, I think for a lot of women, and again, just a tangent on this, think about the kind of women who are feminists. Very rarely the attractive ones, right? Very rarely the ones who are getting catcalled. So in a way, feminism was kind of like a negative mating strategy, and they've ruined it for the decent-looking women. And you can thank your sisters on that one. They were fighting for your rights, not to feel flattered when you're walking around at night in your best clothes, looking as gorgeous as you can. Like,
dragging everyone else down.
Your sisters have done this for you. But I think they're entering the same status as women who grow older. And so, you know, when women get to like their 50s and men are no longer, like, they're no longer a presence on the radar. They're no longer, oh, maybe she's maybe she'd be interested or something like that. That no longer happens because men just aren't thinking, okay, I want a 50-year-old woman. I'm going to pick up a 50-year-old woman. So it's one of those things that the older invisible women who didn't get married and don't have kids and don't have families, this is one of the things that, by the way, ladies, you're going to want to get married and have kids so you don't turn into one of these invisible women. It will happen to you too, because this is the nature of what the manosphere uncharitably but fairly calls the wall. When you reach the menopause, frankly, you stop being a viable mate.
Really in before that, bro.
Evolutionary terms. And
really before that, bro, because you gotta understand a lot of these chicks have, even average chicks have a ton of options. They've racked up a ton of bodies, and really what that means is they racked up a lot of bodies with a lot of guys not really committing to them and having a healthy relationship, which means that they racked up a lot of trauma. So by the time they're about late 20s, bro, 30, maybe early 30s and shit, bro, like it's a wrap, bro. It's a wrap. Let's just call it a spade a spade. It's a wrap, man. It's a wrap. That's why, like, bro, like, if I were to be on that dating shit right now, I would not be looking at chicks my age. I'm 28. I wouldn't be looking at chicks my age. But chicks my age, bro, they're not even, like, attractive anymore, bro. You know, like, the girls that you used to think were attractive in high school, like college. Bro, like, by the time they're 28, they're not even that good looking no more, bro. So, like, bro, that wall be hitting even sooner than people even think, for real, bro.
Then that just means that men just don't generally tend to check you out. And younger women, it seems, are actually encountering this firsthand. And so they're strategizing, well, what can we actually do to not be invisible? Because, you know, we're still potential mates. What can be done? I mean, this is a fascinating video. This is absolutely fascinating. Let's watch this.
The dating scene is getting so bad in New York City that I am seeing on TikTok there are girls going into Midtown during the week and stealing Finance Bros salads for lunch, and then looking their name up from the salad order on LinkedIn and then messaging them through there and being like, hey, oh my god, so sorry, I grabbed your salad, like, let me just make it up to you and buy you a new one. And that's how they're, like, sliding in, which, honestly, smart. Why are we stealing men's salads? Like, why can't they just come up to us at a bar? Like, why is...
And they stealing fucking Wall Street millionaires or Wall Street high earner salads. Like, you can't make this shit up, man. And I truly believe this is actually happening.
Getting to this point, men, just please step up, or your salad's gonna fucking get taken. Your lunch is gonna get taken every week. Like, I'm seeing girls get so creative these days. Like, they're making bracelets with their phone numbers on them and giving them to you guys at the bars. They are taking pictures of you sneakily and then being like, hey, oh my god, making it their phone screen, and being like, hey, can you take a picture of me and my friends so you can see that your picture is their home screen. All just different ways to try to talk to you guys, because you guys don't come up to us in New York City, and it's crazy.
Okay, some of that was weird. If I talked to a woman and she had my picture as her phone screen, I'm like,
First of all, if you were ever able to be a guy and actually like encounter that situation, like you got the sauce, man. Because me personally, I don't think that would ever happen to me ever. Where a chick hands to me her phone, want to take a photo, and I see a picture of myself, like I said, bro, if that shit ever happens to you, bro, like you got it, man.
the hell's happening, man? Is this like some sort of weird, creepy Truman Show thing? But there we go. I mean, that is clever and creative. Oh, I took your salad by accident, you know, blah, blah, blah. But this is what I mean. Like, women will signal that they're interested, but I guess if they're not getting approached at all, well, this is actually becoming a problem for them, isn't it? Again, there are loads of videos of very attractive women who are just like, why can't I get a man? And one...
That's how you know shit's cooked, bro. That right there, like, proves that it's cooked. But here's the thing. Understanding that men have kind of withdrew their attention, time, and all that stuff, now it kind of leaves them back to sit back, contemplate, wonder why. And really the biggest if is if they're going to change. I don't know, guys. Do you think they would change? Just leave that down in the comments below because my answer isn't astounding. Absolutely fucking not.
Can't help but feel that it might be a sort of confluence. I think technology definitely has a role to play in this, and the kind of unwinding of society and the shared social customs and traditions that instructed men and women on how exactly to actually meet one another. I think that is genuinely a thing that's happened, although I obviously can't quantify it in any way. But I also do think it's the feminism. I do think that, like, a lot of men feel like they were essentially kind of beaten out of ever approaching women, and they're like, Jesus Christ, I don't want to come across as like some insane creep or anything. But Lisa Britton here,
it's not even really that. It's just I don't want to fucking do an activity that I know I'm going to get no fucking return on investment for.
It's a good point. There's a trend of women asking, well, what's wrong with men? Maybe they're asking the wrong question, and someone replies, well, they should hang out in the forest. I'm sure the bears would approach them. Well, touche. But this is something that a lot of men are worried about. They worry about coming off as creepy. And so it's like, well, there's the whole problem with feminism is that, I mean, there are lots of problems with feminism, but one of the main issues with feminism and why most women are not feminists, right? I remember back in like 2014 or whatever, the feminists were like, 80% of women agree with gender equality, and yet only like 10% of women call themselves feminists. Why? And it's because feminism contains within it a dark animus against men as men.
Yeah, just to hate men, bro. But like, check this out. Did you know that 53% of single men don't approach women because they're scared of coming off as creepy? That's crazy, man. Like, you think this shit? You think in the 90s or the 2000s? Even the early 2010s, man, even in the 2010s, bro, honestly, you think this shit was a thing? Nah, bro, this is some new shit, bro. So look, I mean, this means that, like, the ball's really in the female's court. But, of course, they ain't gonna shoot no shots. So, it's just kind of at a stalemate, you know?
They hate men, and they actually seek to destroy men. They seek to unseat them from their positions of power and authority because they're men, not because they've done anything wrong. They just are resentful and spiteful against men. And if these women were allowed to control the discourse for a decade, which they were, well, unsurprisingly, that does have consequences. That does have a knock-on effect that people go, oh, right, okay. If for some reason this is representative of women, and we all agree that the feminists represent women, well then things...
And this is evolution. This is us evolving. Like, man, if this is us evolving, bro, I don't want to know where this shit's going to go to, bro. I don't really want to know what this shit's going to come to, bro. Like, if this is evolving...
Change to... You know, you get a natural and reasonable reaction to what is being broadcast. And so men are like, right, okay, I'm not allowed to approach women anymore. I don't want to come off as some guy out of Mad Men or something, some dinosaur. And so a lot of men just won't. Even if they see an attractive girl and they think, oh God, I wish I could. Apparently a lot of them don't. And now the women are beginning to notice this. And a lot of men just have never approached a woman in person. And 70% of men say the number one reasons they don't approach women is fear of rejection. So this is another thing. Like, and this is something that when I was young, women actually, how to say it? There was less need for performative cruelty, right? Because when I was young, there was no social media. You weren't going to record this, put it up. You weren't going to share it online and get loads of upvotes, likes or whatever. There was no, a girl would tell like 3 or 4 of her friends, her close circle of friends, and they'd titter and whatever when you walk by. But there was nothing really in being performatively sort of belligerent when rejecting someone. And so, honestly, and I know I'm going to sound like old man here, but when I was younger, I mean, there were plenty of girls that I thought liked me, that I asked out, and that didn't like me. And they were quite kind when they said, oh, no, no, thank you, right? I appreciate the offer, but no, thank you. And that's rough, but it's not devastating.
So is this a chick fucking giving niggas advice on 45% of men aged 18 through 25 have never approached a woman in person? That's actually pretty insane. 60 to 70% of men say that the number one reason they don't approach women is fear of rejection. You have to be welcoming of and comfortable with rejection. If you fear being rejected, you'll never make a move. Men don't get to blame women for why they're single when they're just sitting around waiting for a woman to approach them. There are plenty of good women out there who are ready for... Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And... within the next day, you just get over it and you carry on with your life. It's just the way that things go. Sometimes you roll the dice with someone that you either know or work with or whatever, and sometimes you don't get what you want. But I think that now there's a kind of hard edge to it, and I genuinely think it comes from feminism. I genuinely think it comes from a culture of thinking that men are basically oppressive and kind of hateful, frankly. And it's a culture that genuinely stigmatized men, and I can definitely see that as a younger man now, I would definitely say it is scarier as a younger man now to approach a woman. I could see why. I'm really, I think this is more of an American thing. I get the feeling that over in Britain it's probably still not that bad. Although I have to say, I'm just judging from the young men I know in this age bracket that I know. Because of course I never approach women. I don't go anywhere or do anything, and with women at all. But I can see why younger men now would feel like it's more worrisome than it was when I was young. But maybe I'm overreacting. Honestly, I want to open this up to you guys in the comments, because honestly I don't know, and I'm just. But there's got to be something to it, right? There's got to be something here, because it is weird that you get very beautiful women going, well, where the hell are the men? And
that's what happens when you overplay your hand and you give someone too much leverage. And information's out and people are informed, and this is the information age, and men withdraw from the real game that is dating. So, let's check these comments out. You graduated from college, you got a career, and you're strong and independent. Now you're not being approached at all. Your transition into manhood is finally complete. Ha, 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 ha. Why don't men approach me? Hi, get away from me, creep. The worst thing she can say is no. Actually, the worst thing she could say is yes, sleep with you, and then decide the next morning that it was great. Which is a real thing, man. There was literally a mainstream commercial from Gillette telling men that approaching a woman was wrong. That's wild. Why aren't random men approaching me so that I can turn them down to inflate my ego? And that's a whole other thing, bro. Like, a lot of chicks will bait you in a fucking, even with the signals that I was talking about earlier, like where you should actually approach. Some women just for ego, and this has happened a handful of times to me, where like Chick literally asked me for my number. I hit her up, no response. So like that's the shit like that, or like a chick like begging you to hang out on Snapchat. You go to you want to hang out and shit. Doesn't fucking flakes last minute. You know what I'm saying? Like it's shit like that, bro. Because that's the thing. It's one thing getting a yes, but then there's other steps, and there's more games to be played after that. That's the thing, man. Like it's like I'm sorry, but like a lot of women, when it comes to this shit, are just chronic time wasters, bro. Don't worry, the imported browns will approach, and they won't take no for an answer either. Why approach them when they're just gonna turn you down? They just want their inflated ego fed. That is a part of it. Even if you're 6 feet, 6 figures, and 6-pack abs, you can still have zeros and have zero options. Fun fact. You can self-improve your ass off. If anything, I think self-improvement will get you less women. And it's crazy to say that, but I truly believe that shit will get you less women, bro. Women are asked out because the top 5% of men don't need to, and the bottom 95% know not to. Damn, that was a bar. That was a fucking bar. Yeah. As you can hear the strain and the tiredness in my voice, that's kind of a symbolic representation of where we're at as a society.